child attracted to the talking sticks. You know what those are? Yes, that's one of the earth floats. It's getting ready to go. Those are sticks made by 4th graders. They're called talking sticks.
At Alcott School?
Actually, at the First Parish Church.
What's going to happen?
It's going to float down the river, and people can watch it go under the bridges. We're going to put it in just a little bit up here. We'll go right under here and under the Low Road Bridge, and then under the North Bridge, and under the Monument Street Bridge.
What does the name Musketaquid come from?
I think you should answer that. I was thinking maybe Jean should. But it's the, please correct me, but it's the indigenous name for this area, which we interpret as the place where the waters flow through the grasses. Imagine yourself coming down the Sudbury River and arriving in Concord, and suddenly everything sort of floods out through the grasses.
What connects us to place? A name is a good start. In stories, stories told through words and maps and drawings and paintings and sculpture. Art is a medium that connects us to people and places and events and ourselves. Through the arts, we are invited to observe, reflect, create, and connect. Musketaquid is the Art and Environment program of the Umbrella Community Arts Center, located in Concord, Massachusetts, at the confluence of the Assabet and Sudbury River. Our purpose is to invoke and invigorate that reconnection to place, using an interplay of art and nature to foster discovery, creativity, and skill development. We believe that sustaining a healthy, diverse community springs from feeling our deep connection to place and to our creative spirit.
How was it that Musketaquid was founded? How did it sort of come out of the umbrella and everything?
Well, I was new to the umbrella in the winter of '89, and in the spring of '90 approached Ellie because she was one of the teachers here, and the umbrella was key for being both a haven for artists and for education programs, and we talked about celebrating the 20th anniversary of Earth Day. Well, I was fairly new to Concord at the time, and coming from a city, this was such an incredible place in terms of nature, the rivers and the woods and the meadows, and that was key to me. And Ellie was already teaching some classes out of her teepee on the river.
So I was also teaching little children and also thinking about how to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Earth Day. And I literally woke up in the middle of the night with a dream of circular raft things floating on the river. And stayed up all night sketching, and came up with this idea of having people build sculptures and launching them on the river during Earth Day. And so I worked with different groups, like there was a group at the Concord Prison Farm and some church groups and environmental groups. And 1 hour throughout the day they put these organic sculptures on the river.
So I've been involved with the banner painting program, which started relatively recently as an opportunity for artists to come together about once a month on a weekend and paint banners for nonprofit organizations working on good causes, and that kind of got me connected to the larger picture of what's going on here. And but I got very excited actually because the environment's really an area of passion for me, so it was really special to discover that not only was this a place to support community mindedness in general, but that there was a specific environmental arts program was really exciting to discover.
I teach classes with Musketaquid and also involved with the Earth Day Parade, and I got involved because my daughter about 5 or 6 years ago was taking classes at Musketaquid, and was chatting to Nancy about the fact that her dad was an artist and Nancy was looking for a teacher, so we got to talking, and I've been teaching here on and off ever since. Living in this community, we're so blessed to have so many access points to, you know, wildlife, flora, fauna, all the walking trails, and having kids and going out and seeing that sort of stuff. I didn't grow up with access to nature. My daughter did a project a few years ago where we catalogued all of the wildlife in the New England area, and we'd seen practically every single one within shout distance of our backyard. So we live in an amazing place, and it's great to have the experience to try and share that with some kids, because it's surprising sometimes that people, even who live in this town, don't get out into the woods. You know, I did a class in the Boys and Girls Club in Maynard as part of Musketaquid, and there's some beautiful walking areas around there, some conservation land, and these kids had never been in the woods before, and they live by the woods, but they've never actually gone into the woods to do anything before, and that was shocking to me. So, you know, I think we need to connect our kids back to nature if we're going to have people realise that, you know, we need to look after the planet, and we got to start where they're young, and, you know, get them to express that love of nature through their deeds as they grow older.
So I heard about Musketaquid through a friend, and she introduced me to Nancy Lippy, who's the director of Musketaquid, and we met in Concord and talked about the program and the mission of Musketaquid, and talked about the steering committee because they were looking for someone to join the steering committee. And so last January is when I joined. The room is just, the Musketaquid room is full of materials to create with, and they're all natural materials, and Jeannie has made this amazing collection that you may have seen in the back of the room, and she has this gift of attention, and she collects things on her walks, and she has seed pods and bark and leaves of all shapes and sizes, and she has this enormous, beautiful, it's a piece of art all on its own. And just that, the attention to and the love in that, I find really powerful. And that was in the back of the room, and it just blew me away just to see what she's done. So I taught this summer in their summer program. They have a creative arts and learning program through Concord, but I taught in their Lowell site, and I found it really amazing. So the idea is to bring art and nature to kids in their summer program, and a lot of the kids don't have a lot of experience with art. As funding decreases for schools, some of the first things that go out is the art curriculum, and so the kids do have art, but they don't have a lot of it, and they were so excited to get to use materials, and I brought in some of Jeannie's collection, and we made things from her art materials, and the kids were so into it, and they ended up doing things. You know, I'd give them guidelines, but they could do what they wanted with it as well, and they made the most beautiful things, and they were so excited about it. And you know, I probably taught about 40 kids, and out of those 40 kids, I asked, you know, how many of you been on a hike? And the faces were just, they hadn't been on hikes. That's not in part of their experience in most cases. And there were a few kids who had 2 or 3 that raised their hands, but I realized that I don't think they have a lot of nature experience. I think a lot of their experience is indoors now. And so to be able to touch all the materials, there were children who, you know, some of the seed pods are these wacky looking things that seem like they came from another planet, but and I wouldn't be surprised to have children not know what they were. But there was bark. There were kids who asked me, what's bark? And it just showed how much it's needed to bring nature into the classroom, to go on hikes with kids, and also to get to put their hands on things and experience art.
What is your connection to this project here in front of us, the River of Styx?
Oh, okay. I'm Jen Houle, and I'm curating the Art Ramble this year. So the River of Styx was one of the projects that I selected to be in the exhibition.
So what made you select the River of Styx? How did it stand out from the other choices you had?
So what I was looking for in this year's art ramble, which is curated by somebody different each year, I connected it to Thoreau's bicentennial, and I gave it an addendum for a name, so I named it Art Ramble, Slow Eyes, Solace, and Sight. And what I'm interested in doing is selecting work that is site-specific to this particular forest, and either encourages you to slow down your vision of the woods, or in Diane's case, she's using natural materials to create a sculpture that will deteriorate over time, and kind of fold back into the forest processes itself. And I thought that there's a range of art projects that are going to be in the woods. Some of them are very small, and then this one is very large. So also in curating, I was thinking about scale shifts and giving the viewer a piece that would be more encompassing and broad, and then another woman who's just here is making a tiny little insect that she'll be placing in the woods. So looking at it. Yeah.
How do we start?
Well, how would you describe what's in front of us here?
So, to me, I saw a bunch of parallel sticks, and they looked like lines in a painting, in paint, like you'd see on a Van Gogh painting.
Sure.
And so I thought, oh, what if we drew with the sticks, and when they're parallel, when I saw a bunch of sticks parallel, it looked like running water. It looked like rushing water, the way you would see it reflecting off from the sun. And if you come in, there's a sign, and you can add to this river all summer long by just placing the sticks parallel. The idea
anyone can participate.
Anyone can participate, any age. A lot of these sticks are very light, and even the big trunks, tree trunks, are very light because they've been on the ground for a long, long time.
That's what
Our oldest and best known celebration is Earth Day, celebrating the confluence of art and nature. It starts with a ceremony at the Old North Bridge, with song, with dance, the launching of sculptures on the river. It continues with a parade of giant and small puppets, with banners and costumes, with music of all ages, and culminates with the Festival of Music and Arts activities on the front lawn of the Umbrella. In the summer of 2017, we partnered with Suwasco River Stewardship Council and OARS to launch a new community art STEAM event, the Cardboard Boat Race Challenge. Held as part of Riverfest and the summer solstice on the Concord River near the Old Manse. This project celebrated the habitat area of the Concord River, not only by learning about it, but by using art and activity to connect directly with the water. Each participating team named and decorated their cardboard boat with a river awareness theme, and they raced in age categories across the river. This project promoted the Suwasco mission as well as citizen stewardship of our local resources. We know nature and art have the power to heal. Reconnecting to nature and to ourselves makes us healthier and happier and builds strong, sustainable communities. Exploring with our eyes and ears, with our hands and our hearts, this is our stepping off point with Musketaquid.
Thank you.